turning outspoken NFL critic. Plus, we have PR consultant Evan Nierman on the NFL's incredible deflection of intention. Gentlemen, appreciate it very much. Thanks for being here. Freddie, I want to start with you. Should we be talking about the racist actions of Coach Gruden, or should we be talking about the NFL?
Oh, man. I mean, it's just hard because personally for me, I've sacrificed so much for the integrity of this league. And, when you have a coach like Gruden that has so much power and can affect so many different players and have affected so many different players' livelihood, it really, really, really hurts me because everybody knew who Gruden was. In 2018, before they gave him that $100 million contract, they knew who he was. And he just, I guess something just happened that nobody will ever know. And he just got punished for it.
Robert, if the NFL was serious about ending racism in the NFL, what would they do?
They would hire more black people. It seems very clear what the issue is, that John Gruden would not have sent these emails if he thought any black person would read them. He would not have sent these emails if he thought any gay person would read them. He would not have sent these emails if he thought any woman would read them. So because it is a good old boys club, still predominantly controlled by rich old white men, he felt comfortable doing this. And as I said last night, there was no point in time where there's a response email of anybody saying, "Oh my God, John, I can't believe he said this. This is terrible." They chuckled about this for 7 years. And if you don't think that this is pervasive in every single organization, we're in a league with 70% black players, but we only have a paucity of black head coaches, let alone general managers, player personnel directors, so on and so forth. You have to understand that this is the good old boy system where you have a $1 billion industry, which is still run as a mom and pop family business, where you have the sons of coaches getting head coaching jobs while Hall of Fame players cannot even get an internship with league teams, and that the league is serious about what they're talking about. It's not about slogans. It's not about patches on helmets. It is about actually hiring black people to be in the room.
That's an important question because we all agree the NFL in the end is about money. This is what motivates these owners. Evan, do you think, pardon me, Freddie, do you think it is that that owners are more racist than they are motivated by money and greedy, and that they're overlooking more qualified African Americans because they're so racist?
Oh, yeah, I think the control has a lot to do with it, and I'm glad Robert says something about that because, I wanted to ask the Raiders to hire a black coach. You have Deuce Staley, you have Eric Bieniemy, you have a lot of guys that are qualified for this job. And, it's funny that, Coach Gruden basically got handed a Super Bowl team by an African-American coach. But but nobody wants to say that. I think that money is definitely the root of all evil, but it's a deep culture of racism that is going on, and it's bad. It's sad.
Evan, from a crisis PR standpoint, you sort of have to hand it to the NFL on this one, don't you? In that they leaked out these emails by Gruden and made this big deal about getting rid of a racist coach. Meanwhile, God knows what's in the other 650,000 emails from the Redskins football team.
Well, that's a good point. And I think earlier you alluded to the fact that the NFL has had a litany, a long list of problems from a PR perspective for quite some time. Toxic work environment, owners misbehaving, a racist name for a franchise team in the nation's capital. There's no shortage of issues and incidents with which they've had to grapple through the years. I think in this case, unfortunately for Coach Gruden, he becomes the sacrificial lamb. He becomes a way for the league to hold out an example and say, we don't tolerate, see, look, our actions speak louder than our words. And in this environment that we're in right now, where you have a confluence of internet rage, the Black Lives Matter movement, real efforts to create racial equality in the country, and this cancel culture, which can turn on a dime really quickly. It can torpedo a person's career. And in this case, Gruden obviously said things that are completely reprehensible. And now that they've come to light, he really left the NFL once they decided to put those things out there in the public, there was really little hope that he had of maintaining his job.
And you have to imagine if you're sitting there as Gruden, you know all the emails that you sent over the years, and you also realize that they have a lot of them. So if it wasn't the racist email or the homophobic email, you had to imagine there was worse things that might have been coming. Freddie, you brought up Tony Dungy, which I thought was an interesting person to bring up, who actually commented on this Sunday night during Sunday Night Football before Gruden's resignation. Take a listen.
Isn't the right way to do it, but it was 10 years ago. And I'm not going to chalk everything up to racism. I think we accept his apology, move forward, and move on.
It's interesting because Tony Dungy was so key in Michael Vick getting a second chance after the dogfighting conviction in his time in prison. Tony Dungy might as well be the pastor in the church of second chances. Do you think Freddie does and should Gruden get that same second chance from Tony Dungy and from the NFL that Michael Vick got?
Well, I think that they're privy to a lot of information we don't know, and I don't know how many chances Gruden has gotten privately. I think, yes, he deserves a second chance. I think that, his privacy was violated somewhat. Because it wasn't like he was, publicly tweeting something out or, on Instagram saying something. These were private information with an investigation that got leaked out. So I just, I have mixed views about that, and everybody deserves a second chance. I wish I would have had a second chance,
Nuance is something that's missing on cable news, and we're grateful for all of you to bring that. Robert, I only got about 30 or 45 seconds left. We started this by saying that if Roger Goodell was serious, you'd search every club's email for these racist and homophobic slurs and for pictures of naked girls, and you'd actually really do something. Is that something that's possible, or is that just too big of an ask? I'm not asking if it's having the political will to do it or the business will. I'm asking from an investigation standpoint.
Absolutely. Anything that's on the NFL server is saved forever, and that can be done. So remember, this was part of the Washington football team's server at the time. And I think the NFL has to look into this, and also the fact that people like Kyle Shanahan is a coach because his dad, Mike Shanahan, was a coach. Sean McVay was a coach because his dad, McVay, was also a coach. Right now, Bill Belichick is grooming his son to be the next NFL head coach. So we have to look at the fact that we're not having a level playing field where people like Freddie has the opportunity, or Deuce Staley, or Byron Leftwich, or Eric Bieniemy has the chance to ascend to being a head coach if you're not the son of a previous NFL head coach. And that's the type of white privilege that we're talking about when it comes to creating an even playing field in the NFL. And if they're serious about what they're talking about, they'll hire black people.
Well, we'll see if they're serious. I got a touchdown there from Freddie. Evan, sorry we didn't get more time to chat. Next time we will. Gentlemen, thank you very much. We appreciate it. You're all welcome back anytime. This story certainly isn't going away. It's not going away in the media either.